I'll never forget, I sent this 202 number to voicemail like 13 times. And I got a call from the agent that I was choosing saying that MJ was giving me a call about being with the Wizards because the Wizards had the first pick in the draft. And I sent this dude the voicemail like 13 times and I had no idea. And he didn't leave me no voicemail. And I was like, damn, I feel horrible. But it was like, that was that year.
Yeah.
I know.
How were you supposed to know? You weren't supposed to know.
I had no idea. It's not like I said, yo, it's MJ.
Welcome to Sideline Stories. This episode is in partnership with Dove Men Plus Care. I'm Jared McCain.
And I'm Marcelas Howard. Let's get into it. Growing up in Sacramento, we're about a decade apart from each other.
Wait, are we actually? We're a decade apart?
Yeah, bro. I'm 29.
Sheesh.
I'm about to be 30 this year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm a little ancient. I ain't gonna lie.
But yeah, I mean, growing up in Sacramento, not much going on. I moved out when I was 14, so it was like I had all my best friends was there. I went shout out Sacramento Country Day, the private school. I loved them. Where did you go?
I went to Capital Christian.
Younger, like all through?
No, so I went to Capital Christian high school only. In middle school, I went to Sam Brannon.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even know where that's at, but yeah, I know Capital Christian for sure.
Wait, so you went to Country Day Middle School?
Yep, Country Day Middle School. I was there from I lived in Natomas first.
Okay.
And then I moved to, where did we go? Natomas. And then for Folsom, when Jace, my brother, shout out my brother Jace, went to Folsom High School, we moved out there. And then I was still going to Country Day. And then we decided to move out to LA for high school for me.
And that was a great decision, by the way, man.
Yeah.
Hats off to you.
Yeah. Still got love for the 916 though.
What AU team did you play for out here?
First, I was on 916 Select with my family basically ran the team, the Askews. And I mean, I played with Jalen Wells.
What?
It's crazy. My team, we were in second grade, we were like 8 years old or whatever, 9 years old. It was me, Jalen Wells on the same team. And it's crazy that we're both now in the NBA. We had some other guys that are in college doing super well too. So our team, we had like 6 players at nationals, but it was fire.
That's fine. I know you and Jalen were on the same team like that.
Yeah. He was at Country Day too.
Jalen Wells at Country Day?
Yeah, he went to Country Day. We played on the same team. He went to Folsom, where my brother went, and then he played in the same D2 league as my brother. And then now we're both in the NBA. It's like it's
Sonoma
crazy.
State, San Marcos.
Yep.
So wait, so time out. So if you went to high school in Sacramento, you didn't went to Folsom?
Yep, and we would have been teammates. And I was going to Folsom too. Like that would have been the trajectory.
That's crazy. That'd have been dominant.
I know. It would have been perfect.
That'd been fire.
I'm gonna be talking about my unfiltered opinions on teams, on players, situations, social media. I mean, the whole nine. Kind of whatever I do. I feel like I have a good sense of content creation, and then I consume a lot of content too. And then I'm also playing the NBA, so I feel like I got both sides.
Man, best of all worlds, literally.
Yeah, I'm living my dream. I'm living my High School Musical dream for sure.
Wait. High School Musical. Did you watch High School Musical?
Of course. I got called Corbin Blue a lot. I mean, I always loved the contrast of being able to do two things and be elite at both. And the fact that Troy Bolton, Corbin Blue, like they were just my guys when I was younger.
Can you rate the hoop scenes in High School Musical on a scale of 1 to 10?
I don't know if they ever actually made a shot. Like, I don't know if it just cut to the, you know what I'm saying? They just cut to the made basket. But I mean, from the looks of it, they were cold.
No, for sure.
They look nice.
I went back and watched it as an adult. So when I was watching it as a kid in high school, I was like, this dude Troy Bolton, the truth.
Yes.
And I go back and watch it. I'm like, the hoop scenes were OD.
Was it?
OD. Have you ever thought about acting though?
I have. I think that's one of the hardest jobs. Like that and like stand-up comedians.
Yeah.
I just think it's hard to like get into character and really try and make it look like it's authentic. I feel like that's really hard, but one day I'm not opposed to it. I feel like I could do it if I really locked in, put the work in.
Technically on TikTok, you kind of do act a little bit.
a little bit. Yeah.
Moving forward to the college side of things, real quick. Cooper Flagg is in the headlines for an unfortunate reason. He just got hurt in the conference tournament.
Yeah.
Did you see the injury happen?
Yeah, I was watching it live. I mean, it's just an unfortunate play, like just landing on someone's ankle. It happens. Hopefully it's nothing too major and he'll be back. But the thing is, that's the thing with Duke is I think we have so much depth. And I say we, like I'm part of the team, but
I mean, technically you're part of the culture.
My roots. But yeah, I think the depth of the team is what makes them so good. So I think they'll be fine regardless. But I do think knowing Cooper, like he wants to play as much as anybody. So yeah, I think he'll be back, but I think they'll be fine without him too.
How far do you see this team going? 29-3 in a regular season.
2025 national champs.
Oh,
for sure. I mean, there's definitely there's some great teams. No disrespect to the SEC. Great conference. Love everything about it. But I just think Duke, like.
Speaking of talent, though, in Cooper Flagg, have you ever gotten to play with Cooper Flagg?
Yeah, so I don't think I played with him when I was at like a camp at Skills Academy. I don't know if he was, I think he was just in the younger group, but he came when I was at Duke for a visit and you could scrimmage and stuff. So he scrimmaged with us and you could just tell. I mean, obviously you see everything online of him, but seeing it in person, like I think the main thing with him, I've said it a bunch, but he just plays hard. And like, you don't see that in a lot of young, talented guys. I feel like they rely on their talent, which they're super talented. So it can get you really far. But I think with Cooper, like the thing that sets him apart is he's like one of the best defenders in the country just on defense. And then offensively, obviously he has the talent, but seeing him up in person and he's a good kid, good person. And yeah, that's why I liked about Cooper.
Yeah, that's funny you say that, though, because I saw Cooper play one time in high school. We were in Vegas for this little Creator Cup thing, but the high school teams played before us. And I was watching him play, and I was like, he's one of the only few players I've ever seen in high school that you don't have to draw a play up for him, and he's going to go make something happen, and he's still the best player in the country. Like, that's very rare you see that.
For sure.
So, like, when I saw that, I said, that's what's going to set him apart because he can be a plug-and-play type of guy. You can put him in any system, and he'll figure out a way to be successful.
Exactly. Like, I think that's why I think he'll impact any team when he gets to the league. If he decides to leave, I don't know. He might stay. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see. I'm excited for his future just because I always appreciate a fellow Dookie.
Outside of Cooper, if you have anybody, who's one of your favorites on the Duke squad right now?
My boy Caleb Foster. It's like my best friend. That's my guy. Con Knuppel. I think Knuppel. He's cold. He's smart, IQ. He can defend. But yeah, I think I've talked about this, but he surprised so many people when he first got there. I don't think anyone really expected him to be what he is now. But seeing him in the summer, seeing him just how he works, and he asked me questions too. So I always appreciate that, and I think that goes a long way. But Con is cold. Con is super cold.
I love it. He's active too. I love it.
Yeah. And Proc, I think Tyrese. I mean, there's their team. They got so many players who I think stepped up in their role. And Slim, and shout out Slim. You know Slim? Have you watched him?
I've watched him fairly much. I haven't watched a lot, but I watched enough to see.
He's so funny, bro. He's my guy. But yeah, they got a great team. And shout out Shire too. Really well coached. Our coach Shire.
Yes.
He knows what he's doing. Carwell, Dildy. Our assistant just left to Miami. I don't know if you saw that.
What? Hurricane? I mean, the Miami Canes?
Yeah. So he was our assistant coach this year, and now his last game was against North Carolina. And he left, and now he's the head coach. But that was my guy. He helped recruit me at Duke. So wish him the best, but always rooting for Duke.
Moving forward, though, so keeping it college basketball, Rutgers University has had two of the top prospects in the draft this year. Had an underwhelming season, 15 and 17. How can stuff like that happen on the college level?
I think with college, like high school, it's easier to get away with. You can just be better than people. But college, especially now with people who have the COVID year, I mean, you could be playing teams who have 23, 24-year-olds. Right. And I mean, they're young. They're obviously, I think, like 17, 18, 19. But they're great players, but it's hard to beat teams that have just been through each other, been with each other since freshman year, 4 or 5 years together. That chemistry is almost not always going to win, but in certain situations it's going to. But they're very elite. I remember playing them or seeing them play at the Skills Academy, one of the camps back in high school, and you could just tell the way they play, the talent's there. And I'm excited for their. I think that was their last game, so I think they're done. And the next time we'll see them play is in summer league, which is crazy. But yeah, I was tuning into Rutgers for sure. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks they're not in the tournament because I feel like people just play better. Like it's the pressure. The better players play better because of the pressure and everything they've worked for, and they want those big moments. So it would have been really cool to see them in the tournament and maybe make a run. But it sucks that they didn't have the best season.
I think it's tough too because everybody's looking for that Cinderella story. I think with them, they could have been a Cinderella story, even though they have the talent. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to say that, but yeah. I remember watching someone like that at LSU, Ben Simmons, who didn't have a great record or a great season with LSU, but he was the number 1 overall pick. I believe he's number 1 overall, but correct me if I'm wrong, to Philly. Am I tripping?
Yeah, no. I should definitely know this, but pretty sure. I should definitely know this. I'm pretty sure he was number 1, though. I just don't want to say anything I don't know.
I think he was, but just watch him, like you can tell, like night and day, like how great he was. And watching Harper and Ace Bailey, like those guys can go at the highest level. Yeah. They can go. I think team success kind of gets misconstrued a little bit. Everybody uses that and says, well, they're not going to be successful at the next level. And I'm like, it doesn't really work that way. College is a little different than the NBA.
It's different for sure. They got to recognize the potential. And that's why people look at some draft picks and they'll be like, oh, he only averaged 2 points or this much. But like, that's not college. The college game and NBA game is very, very different. So it's tough.
Talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, college game, first off, just the rules. For me, it took me a while to just learn some of the different rules of the defense at 3 seconds, knowing how to guard because the court is bigger. The pace is way faster. College is a way slower paced game. I think nowadays people are starting to play faster in college, but NBA, like I remember my first few games, I'm out there winded, or summer league, I'm out there winded. It's just a different game. You just ball screens, just back and forth up the court, and the timeouts are whenever they happen. But I remember being gassed. But the difference is just the game, the speed of the game. Most people are running just like different plays every single time down the court. Like I remember playing Virginia, and they want the game to be like 20-20 by the end of the game. So you have to just prepare for that. And in the NBA, it's like people just want it to be fast paced. The scores are like 100 and whatever. If you don't score 100, it's like a low scoring game. So
no, literally,
definitely a slower paced one.
For you, like in terms of adjustment, because I know the NBA is more so pick and roll oriented, and college is more sets. Do you guys still run a lot of sets in the NBA side as you did in college, or is it more so just a lot of freelance for the players?
What I noticed is like there's like a set action, and then there's a bunch of different like variables out of the action, and you kind of start with the one set, and then the point guard. If you have like Luka on your team, the point guard is able to just make the decision, whatever he thinks is best.
Right.
I feel like college is more like you run this play and this is the exact option we're going to, and this is the shot we want. But I think NBA, it's like you got this set and you could get a 3 off of it. You can get a lob off of it. The roller's going to roll. If help side comes in, you got backside pass. So I think just learning those things, and that's why it's hard to be an NBA point guard because you got to make those reads. But the NBA game is definitely different, but there's more freedom. There's more space on the court.
So as of late, UConn has been dominating the tournament. Okay, the past 2 years. And I know as a fellow Dookie, I know it's kind of
it hurts.
Can I call you that? Is that like a nickname, a Dookie?
I mean, I feel like I think some people don't like it, but I just heard it so much. I think I'm just used to it. Just fellow Dookie. I don't, what I'm saying, I don't care.
I'm gonna say fellow Blue Devil just to say.
Okay, that's fair.
Because that sounds.
That does.
So I want you to pick one: Auburn's rise or UConn's fall. Auburn was 27-4 this year. UConn was 22-9, which is still somewhat a good season, just not what we're accustomed to seeing from UConn.
I definitely don't want UConn to have a three-peat. That'd just be atrocious and disgusting in my heart. But I don't like preying on someone's downfall. So I do like Auburn's rise, like the way they're playing. I think they got great role players. What's his name? Johnny Broome, National Player of the Year candidate. I think Cooper is the National Player of the Year, but candidate, he's playing outstanding. He's super elite. So they're a great team, and I think they'll do well in the tournament. But, I'm never going to talk bad about Duke.
I like Auburn, like the way they play. It's exciting. It's an exciting style of basketball.
Yeah. Shout out to Hod. He's cold.
Man.
He's cold. I love watching him. Just exciting to watch.
So the first time I actually saw him play, just on YouTube in general, was when he was playing Black Boy Max. I don't know if you saw. He played a one-on-one.
Ain't no way that's for the first time you see him,
bro. So I saw him play I think it was I don't know if it was RWE with Cam Wilder or something like that.
Something like that,
something like that, or wherever he was playing. But then I really sat and watched his game against Black Boy Max. I said, hey, he's special.
No way you're comparing. You're seeing his game from watching Black Boy Max against him.
But I'm just saying, from face value, I was like, regardless if he's playing Black Boy Max or wherever, I said,
you could tell.
He got game.
Yeah.
And then I go see him play at Auburn. I'm like, oh, he's special. So he's man. Utmost respect to him. But I think Black Boy Max, that was the standard at the time. I'm for sure troll.
But it is cool to see though. I do like seeing how his game is very free, and I mean his handle. It's I think is he from? I don't know if he's from Jersey or New York, but I feel he's from one of those.
I think he played like it though.
Yeah, and I think I always like seeing those types of players learn how to play in the system in college, because that's always hard to do, to adjust that type of game to a college coach, because they want it a certain way. And so I really appreciate watching his game, because it's just the way he's able to adjust to be able to have that freedom in the way he plays, he's from Jersey, but also in the system like Auburn.
Right. I love it. One of my favorite players ever, that's really when I started watching Duke consistently, was Kyrie Irving. But just seeing everybody, every game, just show up.
Yeah.
Sell out the crowd every time.
Bro,
that's just a crazy feeling.
It was, that's part of the reason why I went to Duke. Going to a game where we don't play the best team and it's still sold out. There's nothing more you can ask for as somebody who just likes, in those high pressure situations, likes playing basketball. You want to play in front of your fans. And I think that's why everybody, I see Kyrie has said it, Tatum, Zion, Cooper, that they would come back to Duke. And I think that's why, you get the best atmosphere for games. It's fun at school. I just remember me and my guys, Sean, Caleb, and TJ, those were the freshmen when I was there last year. We would just go around dorms and just, because we live with the students. We just live, it's not a separate campus for the basketball players. And we just go around the dorms, ask people questions, and just chill with random people. And I think that was the best part about it.
Did you contemplate going back?
Yes, of course. I wanted to. I if it was the best decision to go back, I would have had no problem going back. It was just, you got to capitalize off of the hype of what you got, and being that I was a freshman on the younger side, it's just easier to, you just got to go when it's your time.
Yeah.
But yes, of course. I remember crying. It was tough for me to just say goodbye, because coming into Duke, I wasn't top 10, top 20. I wasn't really on draft boards. I went to a camp, and then I got on draft boards right before I went to Duke. But before that, I wasn't on draft boards. And in the beginning of the season, I wasn't playing that good, but I was still super happy outside of basketball. I was still loving life, going to class happy. And it was still the best time for me. So that's why I didn't really have a problem saying I'm cool with coming back. And when it got to the point where I'm okay, I could go to the league right now, it was a shock to me. I'm dang, I'm never going to be able to have this camaraderie with my teammates, with just school friends. I'm never going to have school friends again. That was it. I'm done with school forever. And I miss that. I still miss that to this day. But I'm definitely this is my dream to be in the NBA. But
sure.
Because also I was homeschooled in high school and middle school. So I was homeschooled from 7th grade to 8th grade, because I got held back in 7th grade.
Okay.
Then I moved to LA for 8th grade, homeschool. It was a homeschool basketball. Shout out ABA. And then high school, went to school for freshman, and then COVID hit my freshman year of high school. Mm-hmm. Then I just went online for the rest of my high school career. But it was still through Corona Centennial. And I had a video production class and math class my senior year on campus. But I was pretty much homeschooled. And I love people. I love social interactions. And I didn't have that at all. And when I got to college, I was this is the best thing ever. I'm at Duke. I got the smartest people in the world next to me. I get to talk to them. And yeah.
So time out. Backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
You were playing at Corona Centennial, but not going to class. You were literally.
Yeah, so I was.
What?
So freshman year, I was pretty much normal throughout the season. I was I was going to school 6 periods, 7 periods. And then COVID hit, and then you had an option to go online or go back to school. And I would work out like 2 hours away from my house. And I was just like, I think this is better for my career for basketball to go work out with Paul, my strength and agility, and Shay, my basketball trainer, during the school hours. And I come back after school for practice with Corona Centennial at school and then go back home. It was just better.
Bro, that is like the life. Are you kidding me?
I know.
To not have to go to school. I could just hoop all day. Oh my God.
Hey, but the kids out there watching, I never had a B. And you could say it was the homeschool. You could say it was the homeschool, but I still had to do all my math. I had English, history, all the credits I still had to get. I still never had a B.
So straight A student.
Straight A student, even college.
That's beautiful. Speaking of college, I saw a video. There's a TikTok class.
Oh yeah. I mean, yes. It was a social media marketing class. You know what I'm saying?
Can you walk me through that, please?
Yes. So I remember seeing it when I was a senior in high school, and everybody was sending it to me like, "Oh, you're gonna teach this class. You're gonna be the TA." And my second semester, I took it both semesters. There was like a starter level one, and then there was like the actual creator one for second semester. And it's just a bunch of creators, and you talk about the history of social media, how the same trends like that have started back in the 80s or 90s when the printing press came out and everything. You talk about all the history of all that to now and how social media has influenced everything. And yeah, you're with a bunch of creators, and you basically post online and see how far you can get in the whole semester. And obviously there's assignments, there's projects you got to do. People think I was just making TikToks and that's it, which that was the case for a little bit, a part of the class, but there were still assignments you had to do. And obviously it was perfect for me just because you got to see both sides of the social media, and I got to do the basketball as well, and I got credits for it. So it was fire, but it was social media marketing.
You give me an assignment example. Like, what was an assignment that you had to do?
All right, so let me think. We had we had a project, right? So we got in a group of 4, and we would have to start a brand new TikTok account. And you have I think we had a month or 2 months to see how far you could get and how many followers you could get with this brand new TikTok account. And you had to document why this worked, what didn't work. And it was a whole slideshow. We had to do a presentation at the end about it. And the people who had the most following got 5 extra points and so on and so below that. It was fire because the first thing, when people got into my group, it was hard because they didn't want me to use my face, obviously, just to promote that because I would get the followers.
Right.
But we ended up kind of using that, and we won. And I got the 5 extra credit points. So shout out to my group. I don't know. It wasn't cheating, but it was cheating.
I mean, it's leveraging.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Why wouldn't we use our strengths to our advantage? You know what I'm saying?
Feel me? All right, man, this is a great conversation. I want to halt this for a little bit because we do have a huge guest coming up.
Man, first, I got to freshen up everywhere. Let's take a Doveman Plus Care whole body deo break.
He has the number retired at Duke. He was the second overall pick of the 2002 NBA draft. He's a current NBA analyst at ESPN, and he's also, I just learned this, a pretty great chess player. What's up, Jay?
What's up? Or you can call me Triple G. As
Triple OG.
Triple OG.
Triple OG. Just take off the O. Just call me Triple G. It sounds
Triple G.
more relevant. You know what I mean?
Got you.
Ancient G. Got it.
How you doing, man?
It was historic. I was like, damn, I feel us going down historic, ancient, archaic, all these words, adjectives to describe older age.
I love it.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I just got down in Nashville, Tennessee for the SEC tournament. It's the first time that we don't have the ACC tournament, but I was on a plane literally yelling at Cooper to get up off the rolled ankle. So yeah, it's been one of those type of days. First off, what's up, Jared? What's up, man?
My guy, what's good, man? I'm feeling great.
I mean, I'm just blessed to be in the presence with you. I've never when I saw you at the game the other night, by the way, like I wanted to kick it to you and talk to you, but you were so locked in. And I didn't know who you're with. So I'm like, it's probably not the time nor the place for you to
Nah,
come. That
it's
we
all
really
good.
haven't had our first official conversation, but I've been looking forward to this, man.
For sure. This is great vibes. I'm glad we could do it.
I would love to pick your brain and the thoughts on the NIL model, Jay.
Mm-hmm. What about the NIL model?
So do you think like giving these kids a lot, because a lot of kids are making a lot of money. Do you think that's necessarily directing them into a way of like, okay, well, I don't have to necessarily work as hard to get to the next level because I'm getting paid as if I'm at the next level already? Or do you think it's more of like like, okay, this is what it feels like. Now I want to work even harder to get there?
I mean, it's the same thing as the league. I mean,
yes,
some peeps get their money and they're crazy competitive and they want to work harder because it's not really about the money, even though the money is a beneficiary from the hard work. Other people get the money and they got the bag, so they don't want to work anymore. I mean, it's the same thing in any other sport. It's, I wish there were certain ways that I can sit up here and look you guys both in the face and say, I would find ways to put money in escrow and you have to get that money if you graduate school in a certain time frame, but that's BS. That's not capitalism. And as much as I want to see everybody be rewarded, the reality is if you're not thinking about your business and if you are a fat cat and if you get money, money changes people. But I can't say you're not deserving of the money if the marketplace determines you deserving of the money. I don't think it's flawed. I think it's just being worked out in real time, man.
Yeah, it's different. It's different for every single player. Like for me, it motivated me. Once I was able to get some money and help out my family a little bit, help out my brother, extended family, friends, myself. Like I was like, shoot, I'm gonna work even harder to get to the NBA because I know that's where the real money is. But yeah, I think it's just motivation, but it's different for every player.
Jared, I have one for you. How did you how did you work alongside like family or friends? How did you navigate that when you were coming into your money?
Yeah, I mean, luckily for me, like my support system is the best. Like no one's asking me for money. I don't got a lot of people outside like influencing my decisions. I got people I go to for my decisions, what I do, financial advisor. They know what I want, what my dreams are. And I think that was easy for me. I got to focus on basketball. Money was going where it needed to go. And if I wanted to help out people, like that was all I needed. And so
you're blessed.
It was pretty easy for me, but I'm definitely blessed. And I know situations that are way different, and to have yes men around you, you need somebody to be around you to be like, that's not smart. You don't need to spend money on this. Cause I mean, I see college hoopers now with $20,000 chains sitting on the bench and stuff. So, it's definitely something you just got to be aware of. And it's hard though.
I would love to kind of intertwine that into this next topic. Talk about Duke basketball for a little bit. So Jay, I know when you played there, it was more so, okay, not
don't make it sound historic. Don't do that. Don't do that. Back when you played like in the 30s, you know what I mean? Like
technically, it's all lumped together. It's like 30 to 90s is like right there. It's like there. It's all the same ballpark. Wow.
Thank God I came after the 90s. Damn.
But during your time, especially in Duke in the 01 season, your Duke team had the largest margin of victory per game, which I think was like about 17 a game you guys won each game in the tournament. I want you to talk about that for a little bit because I was born in 95, so I was about 6 years old, so I didn't really get to see that live. And Jared maybe wasn't even thought of yet.
Yep, was not 2004.
So we would like to know what was it like back then playing in the tournament with that team?
First off, I don't like.
Did y'all have color or like what was going on? How did y'all watch film on a?
Y'all really doing me dirty. Y'all really doing me dirty on this interview. This is cold. I rock with it. It was wild. Like we had such a squad. Like
man.
The year we won it, like I always joke with coach about this. Like I was getting calls from this 202 number. And honestly, like I kept sending it to voicemail because as much as my parents tried, Jared, like I had so many outside people, agents that tried to circumvent my mom and dad, financial advisors, lawyers. people that had given other friends of mine money. Oh, you know how that world works, right? So like I will always send calls to voicemail, and I'll never forget. I sent this 202 number to voicemail like 13 times, and I got a call from the agent that I was choosing saying that MJ was giving me a call about being with the Wizards because the Wizards had the first pick in the draft, and I sent this dude the voicemail like 13 times, and I had no idea, and he didn't leave me no voicemail, and I was like, damn, I feel horrible, but it was like that was that year.
Yeah.
I know.
How were you supposed to know? You weren't supposed to know.
I had no idea. It's not like
Yeah.
I said, yo, it's MJ. And even if I would have believed it or not, but the year we won it, like I had a chance to be first or second. I chose to stay, which is just wild because in these days you would never stay.
Man.
Out.
Yeah.
And it was wild. I'm curious, like what coach told you. Like it was at the beginning of that time, Jared, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the things he was talking to me about was you can go, but you should learn how to be a better leader and you should learn how to be more accountable. And in today's climate, there's no way he's talking to you about leadership or accountability, right?
Yeah.
So I could have been first or second. Shane went fourth that year, and then I stayed. And then the following year, I went second. Dunleavy went third. Boozer was like a perennial all-star with Utah. Duhon played in the league for like 10 plus years, and Dante played in the league for like
Insane.
Wow.
Insane.
So like that was our six. Like it was just, I don't know. So it was, and we were a little wild too. Like we definitely had edge. We definitely went out nights before games. We definitely pushed boundaries.
Really? You was at Shooters? Was Shooters a thing? Do you know about Shooters?
First off, like, you still talking about the old spot that everybody went to like 20 years before I even got to school.
Oh.
Yeah, Shooters been around for a minute.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Okay.
Were you in the cage? Did you go?
Never. That was a rule. Never. Do not go in that cage and do not get on that bull.
Yes. I might have walked in the Shooters one time and saw Nolan in the cage.
That's hilarious. Those are fun times.
But yeah, man, we it was just, I don't know. It was hard to guard us, man, because we had two guards that can both. Everybody on our team everybody could shoot, could pass, and could dribble the rock. So it was just, we were just all multidimensional, man. It was a hell of a run.
So for you, when you went back, it was more so of like you wanted to be a better leader and things of that nature. But like, did you think your game was already ready to go then and there?
I don't know how my game could not have been ready to go. I was being told I was going to be the first pick in the draft.
Right.
It was like Jared was a better shooter than me, right? I think I was more of a scorer. I had more of I came into my freshman year playing the PG. So much of my freshman year, I just didn't know time and situation where everybody was supposed to be on the court, how to make my teammates better. I was a good passer, but I was more like in transition. I was a little bit wild. And I think after my freshman year, I put on like 10, 15 pounds. I lost my shot. And then I just stayed that entire summer and just got up like, close to like 600 to 700 J's a day. And then my sophomore year was literally like Will Ferrell in Old School. Like when he gets up into the podium and he blacks out and he's like, what? That was my sophomore year, it didn't matter. I mean, we went out one night and Coach K, we won a crazy game. I'm not going to tell you guys which game, but we won a crazy game. And Coach K was like, whatever you guys did to prepare for this game, keep doing it. And we're like, okay. And you and I were like, yo, we're going to go out. So it's like, it was just one of those years where it just all worked out. So, but yeah, it wasn't like you just are hot and you go. And Jerry, this, like K's just a genius, man. He was like, yo, you're not really accountable. This has been Shane's team. You got to learn how to lead people and lead a team. But I'll tell you guys, it was the best decision I ever made because I graduated school in 3 years. I overloaded all my summer courses. I did it my freshman year, go to my sophomore year. Then I did for my sophomore year and my junior year. And then my junior year, we lost in the Sweet 16, but I graduated. And now I can always tap into the Duke alumni and at a really high level because my jersey hangs and I graduated school in 3 years. And it's like, I didn't have the 15-year NBA career. Like I'm not going to be as lucky as Jay is going to be. So it's like, I've had to make my mark with my investments and with media and my company and what I'm doing with Giannis and what I'm doing with my own brand now. So that's how my life has had to pan out. So it's been a blessing, man.
Yeah, that's phenomenal to hear. Speaking on Duke, because I remember going back and watching a few of the highlights, right? You
In
guys
black and
had
white. In black and white.
it was more so
Just gonna
like
say.
charcoal. It was charcoal. It was a little darker than that. I remember going back and watching, like how you were talking about the guys. I said, man, the lineage at Duke is just so prestige. Not every university has that. Like you guys have you guys, the alumni at Duke, in terms of from Duke to the NBA, you guys can dang near almost have a league by yourself with everybody you guys have produced. Which leads me to my next question. Who would your Duke all-time starting five be throughout all the times? All right. And the same for you too, Jared.
I know. I'm going to tell you how I feel about this, Ellie. Like, I stopped doing this.
Okay.
Like, this is, to me, this is like media clickbait trap material, which is smart. I get the question to ask, right? It's like when people are like, who's the GOAT? Like, I played against MJ, the back half of MJ. I grew up watching MJ. I've seen LeBron. Like, to me, it's LeBron, MJ, and Wilt. Nobody's touching that. Like, I'm not going to say, as a student of the game, I'm not going to say one's the greatest. I think they have attributes that make them the greatest to ever do it. And when you're talking about the top two or the top three, like, I don't have to decipher like one. Like, I think that's just, once again, what media has programmed people to do. Like, if you get a chance to sit courtside and watch Bron, he's so uniquely different, man. Like, he manages every aspect of the game. MJ didn't do it that way, right? So, like, to me, like, that's the GOAT level. I can say he's greater than Michael doing that, but it doesn't mean he's – so I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what Jared would have done if he stayed in school for 4 years. Right. He would have destroyed records. I joke with JJ because JJ came up to me and was like, yo, if you had stayed school in your last year, would you have been the all-time ACC leading scorer? And I'm like, yo, you ain't coming off – you're not being a starter if I stay my last year. Like, you're coming off the bench. Like, you ain't going to start in front of me. Like, so I don't know what that would have been. So I think there are obviously Leitner's in that class. I don't know if people want to put me in that class. Yo, G Hill is one of the realest I've ever seen.
Cold.
Like Jarrett was cold. Jason Tatum is cold. Like, I still feel bad because coach is trying to put me on like, yo, we're trying to do things different now. And like, you know, I just really want you to think about your legacy. And we're going to start allowing some players to wear retired numbers. And Jason Tatum, he's really good. I feel like you should think about letting him wear your number. I'm like, yo, man, you told me I had to graduate from school and be National Player of the Year to get my number. No.
That's funny.
And then JT hits me. He asked me so politely, and I'm like, I love you, Jay, but I can't do it. And now I'm like, maybe I should have let him do it. He might have been the realest 22 in the game. I don't know. So, like,
shoot, when I got there, I wanted 24, and I didn't know about Johnny Dawkins, and so I was like, I'm not getting that. I had to choose a different number.
I don't know, like if I were doing it now, and Jason Tatum were coming out now, and he hit me with a note that he hit me, like, because Jay was class, like he's like you, Jay. Like, there's certain dudes where I'm like, okay, like you got me, like you sent me a note, you reaching out to me. Like, then there's a respect level. And as long as I feel like you respect the time that I put in, because, you know, certain dudes are just different. They don't care.
Definitely.
So, like, if you don't care, but if you care, I would have been different. I might have. Yeah. So times are different now. Like, if you treat it the right way, I might have thought about it. So I can't have an all Duke class. But I'm going to tell you one dude that I have to be under. I don't care if we played 11 games or not. Like, yo, Kai is like watching poetry to me, yo. I ain't too many people that's gonna touch that.
And he's a good dude, man. I remember he DM'd me back in high school, and it's like I wasn't that known, and he just hit me with like a long paragraph just showing love, and that meant everything to me. Like, that's Kyrie, so I got nothing but love for him.
So, Jared, can I go viral real quick?
What's up?
Uh-oh. See, I already see when these moments gonna happen. So, like, I am the arch nemesis. I am the antithesis of Stephen A. Smith on TV. I am. Like, literally, the whole Kai thing, I leaned into it so hard because I felt, I knew it was personal for him, and that's fine. It was all good. But this is like where TV goes wrong, because I can't not authentically be me all the time. And like battling for, I'm not sitting up here saying that everything that Kyrie Irving does as a human being is correct. But similar to you, Jared, when you know the heart of somebody, you know what they stand for, you know how they treat other people. And also, like, if you have to go to a podium every single day and you got certain people that ask you certain questions, you know you're getting trapped every single day. That messes with your psyche before you even sit at the podium.
Yeah.
So that energy that can translate in the wrong way when you're just, maybe your girl, you got in an argument, maybe your mom, maybe somebody, who knows what you bring every single day. You might not answer everything properly, right? So knowing that, I'm like, no, like people are trying to lock him into certain sound bites. And it's the same thing with even like Bron. Like Bron, we always talk about all the time, oh, don't be the person that tweets me or DMs me or, says it to a friend. Come talk to me. So Bron came and he spoke to him face to face. There you go, Stephen A. Face to face. I'm going to say it to you, grown man. By the way, that's what media used to be 20 years ago. Like dudes used to come up to you live in your face and be like, why did you say that? Who are your sources? So I respect that by Bron. So all these people saying, I thought it was on some BS, and I hear all the quotes by Stephen A. Smith, and Stephen A. Smith is my boy. I got it. But no, that's what you want. You want Jared McCain to come up to you and tell you what his problem is instead of, and look how he's using it, right? It feeds the system. That's what the system is. That's how you have to play the game.
They said he's going on a world tour right now about this interaction.
So I love it because Kevin Love is like one of my all-time favorites, and K Love and I
hilarious.
Is the best. Like we often joke out in the Hamptons when I would see him, and like it's so accurate though. It's the game, right? I didn't want to have to do this, like, but now I got no choice. Right? Like it's acting. It's acting and media and drama. That's why he's $100 million man. I can give him product, give him praise, give him love, and know what it is, and also know what it is, right? So like that clip is everywhere, and he just became the $100 million man, and it's love. That's how the game works, and he's going to utilize that. He's going to go on Gil's Arena. He's going to go on talk shows. It feeds the system into politics and what he's doing. So like, a lot of people can play the game, but how you play the game matters.
For sure.
Wow.
There you go. See, y'all brought something out of me, Jared. This is what happens. This is what happens, Sully. I don't know.
Jay, you one of the GOATs, man. One of the GOATs.
The historic GOAT, like the old GOATs, like
talking like
I barely caught the millennial lifeline. Like, can I be right there on the cusp?
You're like a baby boomer silent.
Jeez.
That's so messed up.
That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. That's actually
so
crazy.
It's so essentially you call me like a baby Yoda. I'm like a baby Yoda.
Yes.
Yeah.
In a way. But like it's like Yoda got younger though later on in the series.
So it's a compliment in the end.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Well, fellas, that wraps up this segment right here, man. Jay, man, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I know time is of the essence, man. You're an honorable guy, one of the GOATs in my opinion, one of my favorite analysts, especially on the television screen. To see you work night in, night out, man, it's honorable, man. It's definitely something I look forward to seeing when I check my phone every day. So keep being you, man.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate y'all, Jared. Always been a fan of yours, man. Hope we can stay connected, brother.
Yes, sir, for sure.
And if I can help you guys out in any way, man, please let me know. Love and respect.
Appreciate it. I'll see you soon, for sure.
Okay.
Now, before we close out today's podcast, man, I want to give a special shout out to Jay Williams, man. He's a super legend in the basketball space, man.
For sure. Huge legend, inspiration for all Duke players everywhere in the Duke community. So shout out to him.
I love it. So, Jared, I've seen something on social media that's pretty controversial. Me and my boys have argued about this for literally a half a day in the group chat. We talked about the different eras, and there's a list or a graphic that shows 5 guys from each era, and it says which era will win. I would love to get that graphic on the screen here so I can kind of debate this and give my case. Okay. Which era wins? Silent generation. We got I almost said Bill Clinton. I'm cooked. We got Bill Russell.
Oh, shit.
We got Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robinson, Jerry West, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Baby boomers. MJ, Hakeem, Magic, Charles, Larry. Gen X, Kobe, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Shaq, AI. Millennials, Steph, Bron, KD, Jokic, Harden. Gen Z, JT, Shea, Wemby, and Edwards, and Luka. So I would take in a 7-game series.
Who is you taking right now? I'm curious.
There's only one right answer, in my personal opinion, and it would have to be the Millennials. Every series they'll play, they'll win in 5. Here's why. It's too much scoring, too much dominance, too much greatness. And they have the best shooter of all time in Stephen Curry. We have one of the greatest point forwards in NBA history, if not the greatest player in NBA history in LeBron James. We have a 7-foot sniper in Kevin Durant. And we have the Joker who can dish it out in the DHO, who can also play at the nail. I mean, who can also play like the chin action here with Bron coming off, KD coming off, Steph coming off. And we have James Harden, who can also, people don't know this, in his prime, I'm going all on prime. In his prime, James Harden's prime, he was the prime, defender on Kobe Bryant. He used to defend for the Oklahoma City Thunder before he went to Houston. So James Harden can defend a little bit, okay? But James Harden would be more of a, what do they call it? A decoy offensively, okay? I just don't think anybody else has enough firepower to beat those guys. If we go to the baby boomers, they have 1 3-point shooter. Uno. Magic, shoot it. Hakeem, shoot it. Charles. He gonna be a lot to get off the board. I get it. Larry Bird, we're gonna have to close on now. Michael Jordan, we can't let him get to the mid post, okay? But the Millennials have too much to work with. And then we got Gen X, who I think will be the best matchup because you do have Kobe, Tim Duncan, KG, Shaq, AI. But then again, not a lot of shooting. 3s are worth more than 2s. So that's why I would go with the Millennials.
See, I think I'm with you. I do think Gen X has a very good chance just because, you got KG, you got Shaq. I mean, just giving the ball to Shaq, I don't know how well Jokic is guarding that.
That's true. If at all.
AI is cold now.
Yeah, who's guarding AI? Harden?
AI is cold now. Kobe, Tim. It would definitely be tough. Baby boomers, it's just hard for me to pick them and the silent generation just because I wasn't alive. I literally wasn't born. And so I don't know their games. I've seen highlights, of course, but it's a different game now. I don't know. Even Gen Z, I think, has a really good chance just to compete just because. Yeah. And is this all their players in their prime? Everybody's in their
I said in their prime. That's what we went off of in our chat.
Yeah. I mean, Millennials is pretty hard to stop. Greatest shooter ever, Curry, LeBron, KD, Harden, prime. Yeah.
Man.
I'll be with you on that, but I'd go Gen X for a second option.
Because the only thing with Gen X that would worry me is how would they guard the 3 and how do you match the 3? Because the 3-point shot is so powerful in the league today. And what rules are we playing by? Are we playing by early 2000s, 90s?
Who's reffing this game? Who is reffing this game? I have no biased opinion towards it. I love all the NBA refs. All of you guys do an amazing job. When I come back next year, not that you need to give me any calls or anything, but just know I appreciate y'all and what y'all do. And I'm just going to be a very good person to you guys as I learn your guys' names and get to know you guys on a personal level. Appreciate it.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was very tactical. I actually like that. It's a great idea.
We need to clip that and send it out to all the refs.
But I think it's just a good discussion to have because it's like barbershop talk. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Those conversations will be living on for years beyond our existence on Earth. And I think that's what's so dope about it. So this has been a great inaugural episode, man. I appreciate you, Jared, as always, man. Great guy, great individual, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you guys tuning in to Sideline Stories. We'll be back to break down more of the tournament on the next episode.
Appreciate you guys.